Hey guys, it's Anna, and it's my turn to make a video. These three are nonfiction books, all very opinionated. I hope you get a chance to check them out. Two of them are textbooks from my old college, from a gendered communications class, and the other one is just a nonfiction book I picked up at a bookstore nearby, which was pretty exciting. It was an adventure. And they all revolve around the subject of feminism, something very close to my own heart and Ivy's as well. Sorry for my blue tongue today. I ate a lot of candy. Anyway, so the first book I'm going to talk about is Feminism Without Illusions, A Critique of Individualism. It's by Elizabeth Fox Genovese, and I'm a huge fan because it does not just go and shut down feminism because it's feminism, because it wants equal rights and treatment for women, men, intersex individuals, and the LGBTQIA plus community. It talks about the fact that we live in a society centered around dependence on others, so how important are our individual needs really? And when you take that concept into the idea of politics and voting, it's one of the reasons that it's hard to vote based on social policy when the country is in such financial distress that a lot of us can't afford to eat, you know. It just talks about weighing your options, weighing your beliefs versus practical needs, and what should really come first. And while I still believe that, you know, feminism is something that should be put in the forefront of people's minds in their everyday activities, when it comes to practicality, Fox Genovese makes some really good points. And so for anyone that is super, you know, for feminism, read it anyway. For one thing, the more critiques you read of your beliefs, the better your arguments are, and the more open your mind is. Bill Nye once said the only thing that could change his beliefs is evidence. And if you have beliefs that nothing could change, then they aren't founded in anything. But if evidence can change what you believe, then you must have some kind of evidence to back your beliefs as they are, which is extremely important, especially in social political situations like feminism versus fedora-wearing neckbeard men's rights activists. Alright, the next book is Does Feminism Discriminate Against Men? Kind of less of a fan because it's not written by a woman, although there are sources and whatnot, you know, from women, from women's organizations and everything like that. It is written by, there's two authors, Farrell and Sturba. They are... This one I had a little more trouble getting through. I don't think I even read all of it. We used it for class, so I read it when I had to. And it is way more critical of feminism just as a belief. And there's some statistics in here that are a little older you should take with a grain of salt. But they are more accurate than a lot of the statistics I've seen online, even recently, that are either for or against feminism. It's a harsher critique. There's some things I definitely don't agree with. There's lots of notes in here, but they kind of side with the whole not all men thing, but there are a few good points. And again, if you want to read, if you're a super feminist and you want to read something that is really kind of the opposite of your beliefs to strengthen your arguments and just to get a better view at the other side, this is a very maturely presented argument against, especially like militant feminism. Now, Gendered Lives is written by Julia T. Wood. She is, you know, even a lot of this stuff that she says I don't agree. She's kind of borderline militant feminist, and some of the things she says are a little extremist, but it's cool to compare the statistics in her book versus Does Feminism Discriminate Against Men? Because there's some very different ones, and I think they're written 5 to 10 years apart, which makes a difference as well. But this book, Gendered Lives, explores a lot more into the psychological and scientific aspects of how boys are raised versus how girls are raised, how that affects us to this day and will for the rest of our lives, and how we raise our kids. And it just makes you think a lot more about the social decisions you make day in and day out. None of these books are very persuasive. They're not trying to get you to be a feminist, to be a misandrist, to be a misogynist, to be a men's rights activist, none of it. They're mostly presenting facts, and the opinions are clearly outlined. If you get a chance to check out any of these books, I highly encourage it. Take a gendered communications class or a sexual studies class or gender studies class, because these are the things that most teachers will not teach you. Things that you didn't know about yourself, myths about the female body and male body and how we think. It's just very important to be self-aware before you can go out into the world and say, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to be a part of it. So I love reading social textbooks like that, learning about history and statistics and how we act and why we act the way we act. So, especially in such a social climate as today, where feminism is becoming a hot topic, if you don't want to sit down and read a whole book about it, at least do some research online. So that's it for my rant today. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you all about it. Bye.